talking about spirituality, we don't have the memory to remember shit that we've experienced, in the spirit world. Some people do. Most people don't. And, people are all going to have their own perspective. And I don't really think it matters as long as you live your life in a righteous way where you're not trying to fuck people over and you treat people the way you want to be treated and all that good stuff, and you're trying to better yourself and better humanity, then, that's the important stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's how I see it. Okay? And I'm not saying that that's the truth. And you have to believe me. Like, you can believe whatever you want. Whatever is going to help you to navigate through this life in a healthy way where you're not, where you're healing and you're better and you're, learning and you're not harming others, then, believe what you like, as long as it's, beneficial to you and others. So please. Anyway, I'm just sharing my perspective. The divine, I see, our souls as being that part of us that the divine experiences life. So anyway, each lifetime our soul gathers information and carries it into the next life. And if we learn the lessons that we were supposed to learn in the past life, then we move on to the next grade level. And then we have new things that we need to learn. And all of these lessons have the end goal of self-mastery through mind output. Like being able to master yourself, master your mind, master your emotions. And if you don't learn the things that you need to learn, then just like school, what happens when you don't learn everything you need to learn that grade? You fail the grade. You gotta come back and redo it again. So you're gonna come back, and each time we come back as different people. You know those challenges, oh goodness, child, you just on my ass, ain't you? You think that's gonna make me drive faster? No, it's not. It might make me drive slow. So I think you better slow down. Okay. Very good. That's a good boy, good girl, whatever. I don't know who's driving in this car, but I know that's good. You slow down because I don't play that. You know how some people be on your ass, you know, and they think being on your ass is going to make you drive faster. It's like, no. And I'm already speeding, so, you know, if you want to go 100 miles an hour, then you need to, like, just get in front of me. Because I'm not going to, I'm at a certain speed that I'm comfortable with, and I don't go fast. So, don't like it. Anyway. Yes, you're going to hear a lot of interruptions from me because I'm driving, okay? So, what was I saying? Goodness, child. I got distracted. Yeah, so that's helped me to get through a lot of challenges in my life. Because I've gone through a lot of challenges and I've overcome all of those challenges, and I'm still in the process of overcoming challenges and learn it as quickly as other people. We may have to go through years of learning. Some of us are so stubborn that we have to go through lifetimes of learning the same shit, or going through the same shit so that we can learn from it. And once you realize, oh, I keep having this experience because I'm not learning from it, and it's all about you. That's how I see it. A lot of times we want to go ahead and point the finger at other people and blame other people for why our life is the way that it is, and we don't want to take accountability for nothing, and life school is about taking accountability. The game of life is about taking accountability. The only fingers you need to be pointing at is yourself, because this life is about you. It's not about other people. It's about you. Just like in school, you can't blame other people. You can't blame your classmates for you failing or not doing well. You are accountable for what you learn in school or what you don't learn. You're accountable for that. The teacher isn't going to be like, well, I understand that, your classmates were giving you some problems, so I'm going to give you an A. No. You have to learn how to take accountability and learn how to master your mind and your emotions so that other people don't have power over you. And that's difficult. I am not there yet, but I have my good days and my bad days, I'm working on it. And that's what this life is all about. It's about working on yourself and learning the things that you need to learn about yourself, that you need to work on. Because we all got fucked up. Okay, what you doing? You see me trying to get Driving I shouldn't be making messages driving. It's hard to focus on my message when I'm driving, because you got all these people driving all crazy and shit. But anyway, you have to learn how to master yourself, and not let other people or circumstances master you. That's all part of the game of life, or the school of life, however you want to see it. You have to take accountability for yourself. you see the pattern, then you can work on yourself and be like, oh, you know what? The next time that happens, this is what I'm going to do. You know, I'm not going to allow, if you have anger issues or whatever, I'm just using that as an example. Okay, I'm not going to allow anything or anyone to have power over me, because I understand that nobody can make me angry. Nothing can make me angry. If I allow something to make me feel a certain way, then that means that I have relinquished my power and have given this thing or this person power over me. So I'm going to take my power back, and I'm going to take control over my emotions. So what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to do some deep breathing. You know, you think about how you're going to do that. How are you going to learn how to master that aspect of yourself, whatever it is. But this is the process that you go through. When you see life as a school, and this is all about self-mastery, everything is about you. Every experience is about you. It's not about nobody else. Point the finger at yourself. Take accountability. Find out what you need to learn from those experiences and master yourself. Learn whatever you need to learn about you. Because that's what it's about. It's not about the other people. These other people are merely your teachers. And that's another thing. If you can see people as your teachers rather than, you know, your enemies, or, you know, and that's, listen, child, I am speaking to myself, okay? When I'm giving these messages, I am speaking to myself as well, because I have not mastered. I'm mastering, but I have not mastered anything yet. I'm mastering. I'm in the process, okay? So when I'm saying I'm not acting like I got my shit all together, no, not in any means. But I understand what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I understand. So if you can see people as your teachers, because they really are. All the fucked up friendships that you had, those fucked up relationships that you had, romantic relationships, you know, all of the challenges, traumas, whatever it was. These people were teaching you something about yourself that you needed to learn, so that you could master that part of you that needed to change. So that's a way to look at people and circumstances. These are your instructors, your professors, your teachers in life. If you can just see life that way, it's a school, it's a place to learn, it's a place to master yourself. That's the end goal. When you graduate from life school, you have mastered yourself. You have learned everything that you needed to learn in order to master yourself. And so you graduate. And so you don't need to reincarnate anymore, unless you want to for whatever reason. Maybe, you know, if you've reached that level of mastery, you want to come back and you want to help others or whatever. But once you've reached that level and you have mastered yourself, then you're able to transcend into different realities. You know, school doesn't end different realities. You know what I'm saying? We go through many different realities. And we go through many different realities on different planets, different realms. You know, I believe that the divine created an infinite realms of existence. You know, and we can choose to go to different planets, different realms. You know, we evolve into higher forms. We learn different lessons in different realities. I kind of see Earth like, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Maybe Earth isn't preschool because Earth is kind of hard. You know, when I think about life here, you know, it's pretty challenging. So I don't know if it's. I changed my mind about that. I don't think it's preschool. I think, you know, Earth school might be. I don't know. That might be like, you know, graduate school. But anyway, I am at work now, and yeah, that's just my perspective on life. You know, I see it as a school of self-mastery, learning how to master self. And circumstances, people, they're all my instructors, teaching me things that I need to learn about myself, things that I need to master. That's how you know what you need to work with. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you have somebody that just drives you crazy and just pushes your buttons and pisses you off every time you're around that person. They're just showing you what you need to work on. They're your teacher. They're letting you know you need to work on, you know, mastering your emotions and not allowing other people to do that. You know, you want to make sure, okay, what's going on? What the hell? What you doing? Go ahead. Please go. Okay, I ain't letting everybody go, shit. Alright. Yeah. Man, what was I talking? Yeah, so that person is letting you know that you need to work on your emotions. You know what I'm saying? You need to work on your emotions and not work on mastering your ability to not get upset when, you know, people act stupid. Like, you ain't got to lower your vibration because somebody else is on a lower frequency. You can show, you know, self-mastery by, you know, understanding that, you know, that's their problem. You know what I'm saying? However they feeling ain't got nothing to do with you. That's their problem. You know, you ain't got to go to their level. And learn how to be in control of your emotions and not allow people to have power over you. Right? So anyway, I'm at work. And I'm gonna relax before going in here do a little meditation, get my mind right before I get up in this building. But anyway, I hope that my perspective on life has been motivational to somebody out there. You know, it's really all about finding your own truth and what works for you. You know, I don't believe there's an absolute truth out there. And everything that I share on my channel is just my perspective. How is my truth and what helps me to get through life's food. You know, but you have to find your own truth. Whatever works for you, whatever. The important thing is that your truth is something that is high vibrational, first and foremost. You know, that's going to help you to get through life in a positive way. That's going to help you to grow as a person. You know, not something that's going to stunt your growth, but that's going to elevate your growth. That's going to make you a better person. You know, that's going to help you to become the best version of yourself. Any belief that does that and helps you to love others and yourself, you know, that puts you in the energy of love for humanity and for yourself, you know, then that's the truth that you need to be, you know, following. It puts you in a high vibration, you know, and it helps you to walk in the energy of love and light. Then that's your truth, and that's a truth that you need to be walking. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, we don't all have to follow the same shit. You know, and I'm not on here trying to indoctrinate anybody, you know, to follow me. I don't, you know, I'm not a leader. I'm not trying to gain followers. I'm just trying to help empower people. That's, you know, what I care about, is help empowering people and freeing people. You know, helping people to heal, helping people to grow. You know, helping people to see things in a way that's gonna, you know, inspire them and help them to heal and to grow and to become the best versions of themselves. We need more healthy people in this world. You know what I'm saying? I've had almost everybody in my life has been fucked up, you know, and I see the things that they have done and are doing as evidence of them being unhealed. And you know, I want people in this world to heal so they can stop hurting people and stop, you know, refusing to let go and not being able to heal and move on with their lives. You know what I'm saying? Because hurting people hurt people, right? Healed people help people, and that's what I'm doing. And I want the world to be a better place. I want people to stop hurting each other. And you can't stop hurting others if you're still hurting. And doing the mind alchemy is the work. It's, you know, learning how to master yourself is the work, the inner work that we all need to do to become the best versions of ourselves, to heal and master ourselves and make this world a better place. So, all right, y'all, I'm done with my message. I hope my message has been helpful to somebody out there, and I'm out. Peace.